All right, I'm ready to roll.
This talks about all the dropped interceptions that he saw you guys have last year. Well, guys were able to get their hands on the ball and then, catch the ball, be kind of a differentiating factor in who plays and who doesn't.
Yeah, I think we had an ample amount of missed opportunities last year. And, yeah, just we got to capitalize on those. I mean, that's the difference in points or changing momentum and changing a game around. At the end of the day, I think we've done a good job of getting better at that throughout camp. We still had some that we got to come up and away with. Now, that's not the only factor that's going to determine who's playing and who's out there and everything. But most definitely something we want to make sure we're capitalizing on this year, not leaving the field with, any opportunities just left out there for us to make big plays and change the game and the momentum of the game.
How can Cruz's ball skills give another dynamic to the back end of the defense when we haven't had that type of player back there for the last few years?
Cruz, he does. I mean, you look at it last year. I think Cruz had 2 interceptions last year, and he actually had a missed op against Toledo. He got an interception, but he should have had another one versus those guys. And one against Syracuse on a backside seam where he should have had. So, he had some out there, but he does have good ball skills. But one thing about him and just Cruz's mentality in general and how he goes about practice and tackling and angles and everything, he attacks the football. And that's one thing, when that ball's in the air, you got to treat it like it's yours. It's not the receiver. We call it takeaways, not turnovers. We're taking the ball away from the offense, and that's the mentality that you have to have, and that's what Cruz has when that football's in the air. It's his, and he's going to take it. So now we just got to carry that over and make sure we get them, and hopefully we'll have some opportunities on Saturday to come away with something.
Josh Guerriere is a guy whose name we heard quite a bit over the course of camp. Just what's your confidence in him, just in his game readiness, being able to toss him out there and just feel confident in his ability to hack it?
Yeah, Josh is he's a talented football player. Josh has a lot of ability, but at the end of the day, too, this is Josh's first Tuesday going out there in a game week, and, we got some things to clean up. But I think for a freshman and to be a true freshman, which – honestly, I think this is the first time that we've had a true freshman in the back end in the 2 deep in the last 8 years. But that's a testament to him of how he went out there, he approached it, he was an early enrollee, and just his mindset of just how he practiced every single day and got better. I mean, last night he was texting me, I think at 7 o'clock, and we're going back and forth. At 7:45, and then he starts to apologize that he's texting me too much. I'm like, I love it, man. We're getting ready for game day. So you guys are going to see him on Saturday. Josh Guerriere is going to be on that football field on Saturday, and I look forward to going to see him play. And, he's built confidence with me and with us, throughout camp and spring ball, and now we want to see that executed in live real action too, and hopefully build even more confidence with us in situational football and get a chance to see him out there more as well.
There are a lot of true freshmen, not just on the safety side, but all across the 2D. What does that say about the youth of this team?
Yeah. I think, honestly, I could be wrong. I don't know. But that's probably something you may see more of as time goes on, too, right? We had 24 kids come in last year, and I think 18 were early enrollees. So a lot of these guys, they're getting in that spring session, and they're getting those 15 practices in. So, you're getting so many kids here earlier to prepare themselves, because it's hard when you get here during the summer and you get here in June, and you just have short time. You have the OTAs or when the player-led stuff and coaches aren't around, then they don't get till camp, and camp's so expedited, and we're, ready for that season. So, we do have a good number in there. I think we have some good youth, and I think we have some good older leadership as well. I think we have some great older leadership, and we got some good youth that, puts their head down and work, and, they're coachable and want to be led and work hard.
Speaking of that older leadership, what did you want to see out of Javon this offseason, spring and summer, leading into this year?
Javon, leadership. One big thing, Javon was voted a captain. I mean, that says a lot. I don't think we've had a captain in the back end since 2020 with DeMar. Then 2019, Dane Jackson was a captain. But, that's so much respect and trust out of your teammates. So that's a big thing right there. Javon has been a dependable legwork of our back end for the last 2 years. I think he's a 2-year starter. Out of our 25 games, I think he started 22 of the last 25. So, as a coach, we have that trust in Javon, and he's dependable when it comes down to communication, making sure everything's aligned right, everything's set. Like, I sleep at night knowing Javon's back there and we're going to be aligned right and everything's going to be in order in the back end. All right, now we're just waiting. The reality is for some of those big splash plays too from Von. When that ball's in there, him going to get it. All right, when that tackle, him shooting that window and going to make that play and not just always being safe. So I think we have seen some of the more out of Javon of that throughout camp, that he has done a good job. So, that's what I'm waiting a little bit more of as a coach and excited to see on Saturday and these next few Saturdays out of Javon.
Looking ahead to Duquesne, they're bringing a quarterback on Saturday. I believe this is his 7th collegiate season.
Yeah.
Guy who's played a lot of ball. Just what's sticking out in terms of the film study, the preparation about how they can attack you offensively?
Yeah, it's interesting because you got to watch two things, right? So you're watching Duquesne and you're watching their quarterback from last year, who was a very successful kid, and you're watching the scheme standpoint from Duquesne. But then for Tyler's film, we got to go and watch his film from last year at Gardner-Webb, and watch those games to see just his feel and who he is as a quarterback and sort of combine those two. He's talented. I think he was at East Tennessee State before that, and I think he threw for over 5,000 yards, 6,000 yards in his 5 seasons of being there. He's a mature kid. He's a smart kid. He's a confident kid. He can move around and create some things in that pocket and extend plays. So we have to make sure we do a good job of locking onto our guys, not having bad eyes, because some things can get extended longer. But when you're in college that long and you've been in meeting rooms and you've learned from so many different people, he's seen a lot of different looks. He's seen a lot of football. So we're ready for a kid that's going to be back there, mature and smart, and be able to handle different things that we throw at him. But he's a talented football player.
Cory, what about Isabella? What stands out to you about him?
He's good. I mean, he is a very he's a football player. If you ask me, how to explain him, he's a football player. Okay. I think he has high football IQ. You see him move inside and outside, and them do different things with him, and him just come away with catches, sit in holes, understand leverage and coverage. I just think he's a really good football player. We're excited. I mean, very talented brother. Brother played on Sundays. Comes from a good football family as well. But he's a good football player. So we're very well aware of him and what he can do.
You have guys like, you mentioned Cruz, and you talk about Sean Lee, guys who played on both sides of the ball in high school and were like sort of stars, right? They had to get you mentioned Dane Jackson, Braylon was the same way. Do you like those kind of guys, particularly to play DB, a guy who was maybe a running quarterback in addition to playing on both sides of the ball in high school? Do they fit well?
I think you love a quarterback in the secondary, a guy that plays both ways. Like you say, you talk about Cruz. Cruz was both ways for Steel Valley. You talk about Dane at Quaker Valley. You talk about Sean Lee. Josh was a Wildcat quarterback his junior year. And you just like guys that play both ways in general, right? Because they have just that football playmaking ability of making plays. So, when we do watch film, we like to see guys that are DBs, that you see them on offense. If it's at quarterback, receiver, running back, Bray was a running back. Bray was a punt returner, kick returner. Kyle Lewis was a punt returner, in high school. So you like to see guys that are versatile. And like I say, seeing that playmaking ability, because they do the same thing on defense as well. They find a way to find the ball. You like to see guys that play both ways. Most definitely.
Sorry.
Your unit gets a good look at Eli Holstein and the quarterbacks. How have you seen him progress from year 1 to year 2?
It's good. I'm excited, and even to see Eli from, you see the season to the spring till now, and just to see his growth, just secondary guy on the other side of the ball. You can see Eli's confidence, and you can see him processing quick and going from 1 to 2 to 3 and to the next thing right now. And just him having fun out there and him growing, right? Him growing as a leader, because last year, Eli, and not to say we're not always in a battle, but last year, Eli, I think, was 2 on that depth chart at this point and battling to get out there as that starting quarterback. And now sort of as he's leading that way as that starter and having that confidence and building with the team. So I think you're seeing growth from Eli from that standpoint, as well as growth from him just throughout his processing as quarterback.
Coach, you talked a lot about depth throughout training camp. How do you feel about the depth overall and specifically in the secondary?
I feel good. I feel good. I think we've developed it throughout camp, but at the same time, too, I look at those safeties this morning. Do I like who we have? Absolutely. They haven't played a ton of football for us either, though, right? Like, I love Josh, but he's yet to play Saturdays for us. You know, Javon's got a lot of starts under his belt. I think Cruz had about 250 snaps last year. You got Kavir Baines, who played a ton of football for UC Davis, but not for us yet. Then you got Allen Bryant, who I'm very confident in, but now we got to go out there and execute. Then the same thing on the outsides. You got Mondo, Lynham, we call him Mondo. Then you got Rashad, who's been here for a while. You got those guys coming back, played a lot of football. Then you got Shadarian Harrison, who played a lot of special teams last year, right? Then you got Sean Lee, Nigel, Rashawn Murray, which not a ton of snaps on Saturday. So we look forward to, you know, getting those guys integrated and you know, getting some more confidence in them, of seeing them on Saturdays as well. But when you talk about just camp and everything, they've approached it the right way. They've worked hard, they got better, and they're highly coachable every single day.
Along with Javon, Kyle obviously is a defensive captain. What did he do to earn that distinction as the only junior as a captain?
Who's that, Kyle? I don't know, be here every day at 5:30, work hard. You know, I mean, obviously you have to ask the players, but I have the utmost respect for Kyle Lewis. That is the reality. Anybody you hear, you always hear them say he's one of the first kids in the building, and his approach to the film. And I know Kyle has been voted for All-American teams, All-ACC, stuff like that. And if you came in here and you spent the day here, you wouldn't think it by the way he carries himself, like any ego or anything like that. Like, he just shows up, his head down, and continues to work. And obviously I think guys respect that. But his hard work, you know, it's not just his ability to make plays, which he's a very talented football player, but he backs it up with his hard work, and people respect that.
From a defensive perspective, what have you seen out of the wide receiver room this camp?
Good. I'm excited about those guys. They got a lot of speed over there. Sometimes it gives me a heartache. But I like it. We got some good additions. Deuce Spann, talented football player. That kid is tall, long, and can run. You got Blue Hicks, was a great addition from Louisville. You know, shoot, he hit us in one scrimmage where it was what was the speed runner, the road runner or whatever, just straight past us. So Blue is a talented football player. Then obviously you got the returners in Kenny, then Raphael. So I'm excited to see those guys another year in the system, and another year with Eli. But I think there were some great additions to the roster overall to make that room even deeper. And with that said, with their depth, it's even helping us on a defense, because now when we do our scout periods, we got some good players down there challenging us from that side of the ball at receiver too. So it's been great of helping us out during these Duquesne scout rocks periods as well.
Anything else?
All right, appreciate it.
How you guys have been practicing over the last 4 weeks in training camp? What's the excitement level now to get into game action, especially coming off the heels of an All-American season?
It's definitely exciting. You know, we just taking it one game at a time now, so we ain't looking past nobody but Duquesne right now.
Kyle, we didn't get to talk to you on Friday, but what was your reaction to being named the captain?
Second?
What was your reaction to being named the captain?
Captain, it's definitely an honor, but, you know, being a captain, not being a captain, I was going to make sure I lead this defense, lead this team to a champ.
Does it make you feel that, like, we just talked to Cory and we were asking about that, and he talked about how you're here first thing in the morning every day, and like your work ethic. Do you feel like your teammates have noticed that, and that's why they voted you in that position?
Yeah, they definitely noticed that, you know, besides film, just getting extra work on the field too and everything. So, you know, now it's just time to bring more guys in.
What are the challenges your linebackers losing Jeremiah?
Jaden.
Thank you, Jaden Bonsu, for the season. How much more pressure does that put on this you starting three?
You know, that definitely, you know, outside of just pressure, you know, that definitely just hurt the linebacker core, you know, because, you know, we all got deep love for them. So when that happened, like, just as they hurt, we was hurt for them too. So, you know, we definitely just got to step up. But more so, the next ones is just ready to step up. Yeah, everybody in the room that's ready to step up. So I know the next ones that's in that line going to step up.
How do you feel about Nick Lappy and Cameron Lindsay?
You know, Lappy coming in his 5th year now, so Leffy is definitely confident. He's not the same player he was a couple years ago. He's feeling way more comfortable, way more, you know, lenient to making risks and making plays out of it. So definitely got confidence in Lappy. Cam, a young star, you know. camp and making plays since spring, so I definitely see it translating during the season.
What's changed with Cam in your mind?
What changed with Cam? Just knowing the playbook. You know, he was a young guy, so he didn't really know the playbook last year, you know. So he took this time off during the offseason, learned the playbook more. So, you know, I see him definitely making plays that I'll be making. So I definitely see him growing in that way, making plays.
Would it be beneficial to you guys, you think, to have Duquesne as the first team? You could have any FCS team come in and play you guys in the first game, but they'll bring a fair amount of fans. There should be a little bit more juice in the game. They have lots of local players. I'm sure they'll be very excited for this. Is that good for you guys to get a first game like this against them?
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely going to be a great day. It's going to be a fun day. We definitely focused up on being Duquesne and then having fun after.
Kyle, what are your early impressions of that offense?
Duquesne offense?
That's right.
Well, they got a new quarterback, so definitely just watching film on a new quarterback. He definitely seemed like a scrambler. He likes to move around a lot. You know, just containing him in the pocket and then stopping the run. After you stop the run, that's when the play is going to be made.
Kyle, what did you learn about your group during camp, and how ready do you feel like this team is for Saturday?
I feel like everybody ready to step up. You know, definitely after the two major injuries, I think everybody in the group is ready to step up. And, you know, like I've been saying, we all just got a lot closer than we was last year, so we all just leaning on each other to make this happen.
From a defensive perspective, what have you seen from Eli from last year's training camp to what you saw this year in training camp?
He just got more confident. He got became more of a risk taker, I'll say. You know, last year sometimes he would hesitate or he really wouldn't throw the ball. This year, he letting this slide. You know, he becoming more of a gunslinger, I'll say.
Going to see the countdown clock to kick off, and day after day, what's it been like for you getting closer and closer to actually having a game as opposed to practice nonstop? How excited are you?
You know, I'm definitely just keep reminding the teammates. You know, a week left, 6 days left, 5 days left. Till it gets 0 days left in this game day, you know, just keep staying focused and, you know, just treat this like it's practice. You're only going to rise to your preparation, not to the occasion.
You have like pregame ritual, certain music you listen to, certain ways you like put on your uniform or something like that? Any kind of
I definitely got a pregame ritual. I definitely believe in all that. I make sure everything the same every time. You want to know what it is? You know, go down, just watch film, talk to Coach Manny. We don't even really talk about football. We just be spitting jokes at each other. And then, you know, I really just be by myself, just locked in, loaded up. And I just be listening to some music called Jersey Club. It get me amped up, get my heartbeat going. And then I'll probably be like the first one to put my equipment on, see my drip right and everything. And then after that, I'm locked in after that.
Kyle, you mentioned keeping it the same every time. Are you like superstitious at all?
I'll keep it the exact same. Unless like it's a different from 12 o'clock game to an 8 o'clock game, I'll probably keep it the exact same.
Do you like these 12 o'clock games better? Get into it, not have to wait around all day?
No, I like night games. I like being under the lights, I ain't gonna lie. But 12 o'clock game is definitely cool too.
You had a pretty impressive stat line last year. Do you have any specific goals, specific numbers you're trying to reach this year?
Now, I know I'm gonna make plays, so I ain't even chasing that. You know, once you chase plays, that's when you ain't gonna make them. You know, I'm just here to make whatever I can do to make the team win, and the plays gonna come with that.
Now that you've gotten through training camp and you're only a few days away from the game, how are you feeling personally, and how are you feeling about this O-line group?
Yeah, I feel great personally, and then as an O-line group, I think we're in a great spot. We have a ton of talent. I think we've done really good in camp and had a great start to the week today. So we're feeling good, ready to go against somebody else.
Jeff, the position battle at left tackle is one that we had heard kind of recurring throughout the course of camp. Now that you have emerged atop the week one opening two deep, just how do you feel like what do you feel like you did to win that competition?
I think just trying to put my best foot forward every day. Just doing everything I could every day through camp. Just pushing myself and having good competition in the room definitely pushed me, and I think we all kind of fed off each other in that way. So I think we have a really talented group, and we were all just trying to do our best every day, and then let the coaches handle that stuff.
You've talked previously about wanting to improve on your pass protection since coming in from Michigan. Do you feel like that area of your game has grown, and what specifically has worked well for you or that you've learned?
Yeah, I think it's definitely grown with a lot more, just past reps in practice and going against good DNs and a good defense, I think has all helped me improve. And then just stuff like punch timing and just having a good demeanor in my set, just stuff like that, I think has all gotten better. So it's been good.
Jeff, what's it been like getting to know Keith, and how have you guys worked together on that side?
Yeah, Keith's a great dude. Everything you want in a guard, has a mean streak to him, and I think we communicate well. We've gotten a good feel for each other and how we play, so we're working pretty well together.
How does it help having a guy like Kendall Stanley behind you if you need a break or anything?
I think it's great. I think Kendall's a very talented tackle, great dude. We bounce a lot of ideas and stuff off each other, and like I said previous, just competing every day and having someone talented, pushing you every day to put your best foot forward, I think is great. So, I think he's really talented and he's ready to go whenever needed.
You've said a lot about this group being talented. Obviously, you played at Michigan for several years, so award-winning offensive line league there, national championship winning line there. How does this starting 5, 6, 7 compare to maybe what you had at Michigan?
I think we have a phenomenal group. I think we, can do whatever we set out to do this season. I think we can be an elite offensive line, but we got to take that one day at a time, one game at a time, and we'll let all that stuff sort itself out. But I think the talent and the want to is all there. We just got to execute, which I think we'll do.
What do you think?
An opponent who's just across the street, local rivalry that's being regenerated for the first time since the 30s. Does that add a little excitement to the atmosphere that otherwise may not be there when a Power 4 school schedules an FCS opponent? Yeah,
I think there is excitement. Just kind of that crosstown rivalry of sorts, just being so close, and. So I think that's definitely there.
Could it be fun and beneficial for you guys to have perhaps more people in the stadium, more road fans than normal for circumstances down the road to get used to that game right off the bat?
Sure. Yeah. I think fans always help. A good atmosphere always helps the game. It's a good thing to have. So I think more people that show up to the game, the better.
What have you noticed about Duquesne's defensive line? They're a pretty strong unit, so I'm curious, early scouting, what you've noticed? Yeah,
I think they're a good group. A couple returners. Seen some good stuff on film. We'll continue to watch them, but nothing but respect for them. We're not going to take them lightly. We're just going to, study what we need to study and feel good about what we do when we get to game day.
Jeff, how long did it take you to get used to the tempo, and what kind of advantage do you think that could be for your guys facing a defensive line if you go as fast as it could be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for the tempo part, it took a while, something I was definitely not used to, but it's been great. I think spring ball, it took kind of a while to get used to. Fall camp felt a little more kind of into it. So I feel like we're in a good spot there with the tempo, and I think it's extremely beneficial when it comes to the D-line, just getting guys that are tired, not allowing D-lines to rotate as much, not get fresh legs in there. I think all things we can use to our advantage.
I think he's obviously better the captain. What is he like as a leader? He shows to see a lot, during the line.
Yeah, Coop's a great leader, both vocally and by example. He just does everything right, and he's, I think, taken that vocal role of leading our room, and someone who has great experience and tremendous talent, going to do great things this year.
How does that manifest when you see, what Jeff was just asking about with their defensive line, lots of returning guys? You got a guy's a seventh-year guy in their defensive line. How does that manifest on tape when you see it, when you watch them?
Yeah, they look comfortable. They look like they've, played together before and look like they know their scheme. So it shows up on tape, but, like I said, we're just going to take it at face value, learn what we can learn from the film, and go from there.